Coming up on News 11, we have all of your election news this week, like how students are getting out and voting. We have the election results across New York State, including local and statewide elections. And we give you an update on some of the tight midterm elections across the country. These stories and more, News 11 starts right now. Julia, it is our first time on desk together. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm so excited.
All right, me too. So let's get right into it. It's election season and time for many to exercise their right to vote. I took a look at how students are voting locally. After many have already voted by mail, people are now making their way to the polls this election season. But one part of the population is missing: students. However, one club at SUNY Fredonia, the American Democracy Project, wants students to recognize how important it is for them to vote.
So if students choose to sit out an election, then that's when policy isn't made concerning, for instance, student loan forgiveness or college tuition.
The American Democracy Project's efforts are in response to recent research, which shows that even though many students are registered to vote, many don't actually fill out their ballot. This results in student voices becoming the minority when counting votes. Plus, voting is a way to get student voices to travel far. Your vote travels from here in Fredonia to the U.S. Capitol. Many students at SUNY Fredonia are trying to get their peers to partake in the upcoming midterm election.
You need to be able to have confidence in what you're saying, and that what you're saying and what you're voting on matters. And you may be one person in, the giant United States, but your vote and what you're saying still matters.
If registered here in Chautauqua County, students can vote in person at the Chautauqua County Fairgrounds. So make sure to get out there and make your voice heard. Reporting from Fredonia, I'm Chloe Kowalik, News 11.
All of the local elections across New York State have been decided, including those that directly affect Chautauqua County. Nick Langworthy won the 23rd district with a 65% majority. The 23rd district covers all of Chautauqua County, extending across New York's southern border, and includes the city of Ithaca. In 2016, Langworthy was appointed by then-President Donald Trump to the executive committee of his transition team. Langworthy received an endorsement from Trump last month. The 23rd Congressional District is currently being held by Joseph Zaplonsky, who won a special election after U.S. Rep. Tom Reed resigned. Zaplonsky defeated DePella for the seat.
Congressman Brian Higgins has won the re-election to represent New York's 26th Congressional District. The 26th district covers Erie and Niagara County, including the cities of Buffalo and Niagara Falls. Higgins won the election with a 64% majority, and Higgins has served in Congress since 2005. He defeated Eddie Egru in the Democratic primary for the 26th Congressional District back in August. Republican candidate Stephen Sams in November is also on the conservative ticket. Higgins was also on the Working Families ticket.
And our last election race was for New York State Governor between incumbent Kathy Hochul and challenger Lee Zeldin. The Western New York native, who previously served as lieutenant governor, was sworn as the 57th governor of New York in August 2021, after Andrew Cuomo's resignation. She became the first woman to hold the position. Congressman Zeldin has issued a statement congratulating Governor Kathy Hochul on her election to a full 4-year term, adding, quote, "This race was a once-in-a-generation campaign with a very close margin in the bluest of blue states. The unrelenting passion and hard work of our grassroots volunteers and supporters made this incredibly close race possible and helped us win at least 49 of New York's 62 counties."
This last Sunday marked a special occasion for several young musicians from across the country. The Sorel Piano Competition concluded at SUNY Fredonia with recitals and the award ceremony. Reporter David Morris was at the award ceremony to meet the competition winner.
The 7th annual Claudette Sorel Piano Competition concluded this past weekend with the announcement of the competition winners. The event took place in Roche Recital Hall at SUNY Fredonia this past Sunday. The annual competition celebrated its 7th year of gathering young musicians from across the country. Along with a standard performance competition, a big aspect of the event included gathering piano students to collaborate and learn together.
The competition basically has two aspects. It has the competition itself, and then it has the Fellows Day, in which we invite people to come and partake in a recital, in master classes, in private lessons, discussions before and after the competition, and it's so much fun to work with these young people.
The competition concluded with an awards ceremony honoring the achievements of the competitors.
The 7th Claudette Sorel Piano Competition First Prize Award goes to Zarin Mehta.
First prize winner Zarin Mehta told us the competition is not just about the prize, but about collaborating with other young musicians.
It's also a great opportunity just to be able to play with other people or listen to other people that are just among my level.
Mehta plans to continue his piano career, but is also looking to branch out to other potential career paths.
I mean, I would also like to do something like maybe related to economics or medicine as well.
The competition, funded by the Claudette Sorel Foundation and organized through the SUNY Fredonia Music Department, will once again be searching for more young pianists in the coming year. At SUNY Fredonia, I'm David Morse for News 11.
For aspiring pianists looking to audition next year will be available from the SUNY Fredonia Music Department. Inquiries can be emailed to music@fredonia.edu.
Sabres wing Alex Tuck is asking Buffalo fans to help him win more than just hockey games this season. Movember is an event during the month of November where NHL players grow out their mustaches to raise money for men's health. Tuck won the competition in 2019 and is asking fans once again to help him in 2022. In the letter, he says, quote, "One thing I learned about Buffalo, the people here love to support one another. I visited Roswell Park shortly after I arrived here and saw it firsthand. Tuck is a Syracuse native and grew up a Sabres fan. To donate, visit Buffalo's team page and donate to whose mustache you think is best."
And while some players on the Sabres may be rocking new facial hair, all of the Sabres will be wearing new alternative jerseys that were revealed on Monday. In August, the Buffalo Sabres announced the black and red goat head would return as a new third jersey in November. The team said the new third jersey is modeled after its primary uniforms that were worn from 1996 to 2006. The Sabres released that schedule stating what home games they would be wearing the jerseys, with the first date being November 23rd, which also happens to be 90s night. These jerseys are now on sale at the Sabres store, and more information can be found on the Buffalo Sabres website.
A local Fredonia bookstore is selling at affordable prices while also allowing their customers to give back to the community. Alexandra Giles turns the page on the Next Chapter bookstore.
Flipping through your old books? Looking for something different? The Next Chapter bookstore is a local option at 10 Park Place in Barker
That's
Commons.
true.
They offer a wide selection of books from historical
made mine
romance,
better.
sports, humor, and
Yeah.
science.
To you, these may appear to be ordinary books from an ordinary bookstore. But to a few, these books and the selling and purchasing of these books means far, far more.
All proceeds from the bookstore are used to help fund literacy volunteers of Chautauqua County, ensuring that their tutoring services remain free and available to everyone.
I know one particular little girl, and Dom knows who she is too. When she comes in with her mom and her brother, bless her mother's heart, she's bought one of these $15 literacy bags because that's how many books that little girl buys when she comes in.
The bookstore also hosts book signings from authors and illustrators local to the area. The welcoming nature of the bookstore has motivated the community to give back to those in need.
They're very nice to me, and I enjoy it. I come once a week, and I share the books with many people.
The bookstore believes that it is never too late to change your life through reading. On your way through Barker Commons, stop by the Next Chapter bookstore and pick up a book. you'll be changing someone's life. I'm Alexandra Giles, News 11.
Thank you. The Next Chapter Bookstore is hosting a book signing for Mod Podge on November 26th. Check out their Facebook page for more information for future events and sales at LVOCC Read.
With the cooler temperatures and the changing of the seasons underway, people are starting to get into the holiday spirit. Our reporter Andy Velez Davis went out to find out what the buzz was all about for Christmas in the country.
This past weekend, Western New Yorkers rolled up to the Hamburg Fairgrounds to celebrate a 37-year-old tradition. Christmas in the Country is a holiday artisan market welcoming vendors from all over the country. With hundreds of artisan vendors selling unique handcrafted creations, many get excited to find something that they don't see every day. Original Glassworks owner says that his favorite part about coming to events like these is customers' reactions to his work.
You know, seeing them get so pumped up and excited about it kind of reminds me, I'm like, oh, this is all right. Because it gets a little mundane. If you see it every day all the time, you're like, you know. But there are a few different pieces and techniques where it's challenging, you know, it's creative and just drives you to keep making more.
The event kicked off on Thursday at 10 a.m. at the Hamburg Fairgrounds and continued throughout the weekend until Sunday afternoon. Besides getting your holiday shopping done early, there's a variety of food that you can enjoy outside. Hanson's Original Kettle Corn has become a regular vendor at the Christmas in the Country market.
We're from Pennsylvania. We travel to New York, West Virginia, Ohio, surrounding areas, making kettle corn. A lot of people that are here for the fair, they come and look for us and come back, and you know, it's great to see people more than once a year. And yeah, we have a good crowd here, so it's great for our business.
Premier Promotions hopes to continue bringing back this Western New York tradition for years to come. Reporting from Hamburg, New York, I'm Andy Velez Davis, News 11.
And for more information on upcoming events like Christmas in the Country, be sure to visit WNYPremiere.com. Now, when we come back, we'll take a look at your national headlines, including an update on some other close elections. We'll be right back.
When you think of the local lowdown, what do you think of?
Well, when I think of the local lowdown, it's the live music that we have played in the studio.
It's got to be the laughs we shared. The memorable moments during the whole thing. Oh my God, so fun.
The local lowdown for me is the people behind the scenes, the amazing team that we have making the show.
Oh, it's got to be exploring all sorts of genres and music I've never heard before.
Oh, easy. Going out to shows and talking to artists and getting the latest news on what they have planned for the future.
It's about these artists, man. Giving them a platform to showcase what they've worked so hard on and show their music to the community. It's all about supporting the local scene of music to keep it running for years to come. And of course, the band merch. You can't forget about the merch.
U.S. voters are making their voices heard, showing up at the polls. Election day is over, but key races remain uncalled as the balance of power in the Senate rests in the hands of a few swing states. A stronger than expected showing for Democrats blocking a so-called red wave. Despite the battle for the control of Congress remaining unsettled, a big boost for Democrats in battleground Pennsylvania. Democrat John Fetterman defeating Republican Mehmet Oz, a Trump-endorsed candidate in their race for Senate. And a significant win for Republicans in the Sunshine State. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis delivering historic margins on key Democratic territory like Miami-Dade County. The critical Senate race in Georgia projected to go on a runoff on December 6th. The showdown between Republican Herschel Walker and incumbent Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock may be key to determine which party is in control.
U.S. gas prices are inching upward. The average price for a gallon of self-serve regular is $3.80, according to AAA. Officials there say that's about a 4-cent hike from last week and roughly 38 cents more than this time last year. Analysts say one reason for the recent increase in cost comes from the oil market, where a barrel of crude is once again more than $90 each. The least expensive gas in the U.S. is in Georgia, where the statewide average is nearly $3.13 per gallon. California has the most expensive gas, where commuters are paying $5.45 per gallon.
After making a historic landfall as a Category 1 hurricane, Nicole has weakened into a tropical storm and is now on the move, turning up north, where several states are already seeing severe weather. As of Thursday afternoon, more than 300,000 homes and businesses were without power as crews work to restore electricity and assess the damage. Meanwhile, homes are collapsing into the ocean along Florida's coast, triggering evacuations. After becoming the first hurricane in the U.S. to make landfall in November in nearly 40 years. The storm system is weakening as it moves north. The threat of severe weather is now stretching across at least 3 states, Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina, bracing for a possible tornado, destructive wind, and rain embedded within Nicole's outer bands, as South Carolina begins to see the effects as the streets in Charleston begin to flood. Some experts say the storm could have been much worse, as the storm coincided with a low tide, lessening the blow and limiting flooding in some communities.
Nearly half of Americans are sleep deprived. That's according to a new study published Tuesday. The sleep habits of more than 9,000 adults in the U.S. were collected from 2017 to March 2020. More than 30% reported sleeping at least an hour less than the minimum that experts recommend for the body to be healthy. And nearly half of the adults in the study reported at least an hour of social jet lag during the week. Social jet lag happens when a time of sleep preferred by a person's inner biological clock and the one dictated by society is not good. If untreated, it can lead to insomnia, excessive sleepiness, daytime fatigue, difficulty concentrating, and more. While sleep debt and irregular sleep duration is linked to an increased risk of obesity, heart disease, dementia, and mood disorders. If you're struggling to get enough sleep, avoid naps, caffeine, and alcohol, and try meditation, deep breathing, and progressive muscle relaxation. It's also best to keep the same sleep schedule on the weekends.
Americans are being advised to get a COVID-19 booster shot before Thanksgiving. Health officials say they are concerned about a potential surge of respiratory illnesses during the end-of-the-year holiday season and stress the best way to be protected is to be up to date with vaccinations. Despite the push from the White House and others, most Americans haven't rolled up their sleeves recently. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say less than 10% of the country has gotten the latest dose. In addition to a possible rise in COVID-19 cases this winter, government health officials say the flu has already been spreading rapidly in some areas.
Home prices across the U.S. rose this summer, even though the housing market was cooling. That's according to a new report by the National Association of Realtors. It tracked home prices in 185 cities over the summer and found prices increased in all but 4 cities. Nearly half the cities saw double-digit increases from 2020. The price jumps have since slowed substantially due to the rise in mortgage rates. Experts say because of both rising prices and rates, the median income now needed to buy a typical home is $88,300. That's almost $40,000 more than it was prior to the start of the pandemic. And when we come back, Sarah Gorton joins us for a sports update, and a returning anchor joins us for your weather forecast. We'll be right back.
To Sofia and Gabriel, mis flores, my little flowers. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love, so you can take me with you wherever you go, near or far. These stitches and threads join us together. Me, your mother, and both of you. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you as you bring our colorful stories to the world.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
By Sarah Gorin, who probably doesn't want to talk about NFL right now, so we'll have her start with local Fredonia sports. Sarah, take it away.
Well, thank you. So, in local Fredonia sports this week, basketball season has finally begun, and the women's team locked in their first victory of the year after playing the Hiram Terriers Tuesday night and clocking in a final score of 60-51. Renee Park led the offense with 19 points, followed by Laurel Brown with 13, and Sarah Seaman with 10 points and 3 steals. Alina Brown was the defensive leader with 6 rebounds and 4 blocks. The team will next play tomorrow at home against William Smith College with a tip-off at 5:30 p.m. This was painful to write, let alone speak out loud, but the Buffalo Bills lost to the New York Jets last Sunday for Week 9 of NFL football. With a decent showing at the beginning, things went downhill quickly, even despite Josh Allen's 86 yards of rushing and 2 rushing touchdowns in the first half. And the Jets took momentum in the second half, scoring a late field goal to make the final score 20-17. Stephon Diggs also had 93 yards of receiving in this game, a far cry above Gabe Davis, the second leading receiver in this game, with only 33 yards. With a right elbow injury, it is yet to be seen if Josh Allen will play this Sunday, and it is determined to be day by day. And we are also still awaiting the return of Tre'Davious White as well. The Bills hope to learn from this previous game next week and put the game far behind them, starting with their Week 10 matchup against the Minnesota Vikings at home this Sunday at 1 p.m. on Fox. Houston, apparently we do not have a problem. The 2022 World Series champions have been crowned, and to Trevor Howard's disbelief and joy, this year's winners are the Houston Astros. They went down 2-1 to the Philadelphia Phillies at the start of the series, but then flipped the lights on to win 3 straight and to take the title after a 4-1 final score for Game 6. The Astros rookie shortstop, Jeremy Pena, had not only had a stellar first season, but capped it off by being named the MVP of the World Series. Pena is now the first rookie position player to win World Series MVP and the third rookie overall, following Larry Sherry in 1959 and Livan Hernandez in 1997.
And now we are joined by a returning face here at News 11. Chris Cronin joins us to give us our first weather forecast. Chris, how does it feel to be back in front of the camera?
It feels great. Long time no see, camera number 7. For tonight, we'll be seeing a pretty calm and mild night as only a couple of clouds will be rolling in. The temperatures will be pretty comfortable, sitting around the mid-40s with a high of 53. Later tonight, winds should be pretty calm as they shouldn't be getting higher than 10 miles per hour throughout the night. Looking ahead to tomorrow, the tropical storms in Florida are having a direct relation to our weather, as we'll be getting some scattered showers, rain showers, throughout the day. There's even a flood watch for both Chautauqua and Erie County. Temperatures should be pretty comfortable, sitting at 64 degrees, but winds should definitely be higher, with wind gusts above 20 miles per hour all day. In just a little bit, we'll have a look ahead to your weather this weekend. Back to you guys.
And now when we come back, we will have your international headlines. We'll be right back.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers, the sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles, watching each other's backs,
And banding together.
we should still make an effort
We should still make an effort.
to get to know each other.
On a deeper level. Father.
Cosplayer,
Mentor.
actor.
It's time we take a step forward
It's time we take a step forward, come together,
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
How
prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
The White House is urging Russia to improve WNBA star Brittany Griner's treatment and conditions as she's being transferred from a pretrial detention facility to a penal colony, where she is due to serve the remainder of a 9-year drug smuggling sentence that was in late October. It came in a statement released on early Wednesday morning from the White House that also included renewed accusations the Russians are not negotiating in good faith for Griner's return. Russian penal colonies are known for their lack of hygiene and access to medical care, with inmates often subjected to manual labor. Griner's representatives confirmed they do not know where she is at this time or her current location.
President Joe Biden is scheduled to meet with Chinese leader Xi Jinping Monday. The conference will take place while Biden and Xi are in Bali for the 2022 G20 summit. Although the two leaders have spoken by phone 5 times since 2020, this will be their first face-to-face sit-down since Biden took office. U.S. officials say the goal is to have Biden and Xi improve the relationship between the two largest economies in the world. The link between the U.S. and China have frayed recently following House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's trip to Taiwan. In addition to the situation with self-governing Taiwan, U.S. officials say human rights and economic practices will likely also be discussed during the meeting.
The United States will once again allow Cubans to apply for immigrant visas at the U.S. Embassy in Havana. The U.S. suspended services in 2017 after diplomats at the embassy became ill with what was termed Havana syndrome. Cuban has denied it targeted embassy personnel. State Department officials announced Thursday the resumption of visa processing will begin early next year. Even though the embassy allowed some limited visa services this year, over the past 5 years, Cubans who wanted to enter the U.S. had to apply for visas through third countries. Critics say the process was too costly and took too much time. Now, after a short break, we have your trending stories, and Chris is back for your weekend weather forecast. We'll be right back.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Jimmy Kimmel is coming back to the Oscars. This will be the third time the comedian will host the annual event. Kimmel issued a statement saying he is grateful to the Academy, quote, for asking me so quickly after everyone good said no. The only people who have hosted the Oscars more than Kimmel are Whoopi Goldberg, Jack Lemmon, Johnny Carson, Billy Crystal, and Bob Hope. The legendary Hope holds the record for 11 times. Members of the Academy will announce which films have been nominated on January 24th. The 95th Academy Awards ceremony air will live on March 12th from the Dolby Theater in Hollywood.
Actor Ryan Reynolds is trying to add another title to his name, hockey team owner. During an appearance on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, Reynolds said he was trying to buy the Ottawa Senators of the National Hockey League. But he says, quote, it's very expensive, so I need a partner with really deep pockets, end quote. On Friday, the franchise said a process has been started to sell the club. Reynolds was born in Vancouver, but spent time in Ottawa. He is currently co-owner of Wrexham AFC, a Welsh football club in England's 5th tier.
And this year's Sexiest Man Alive is, drumroll please, actor Chris Evans. People magazine made the announcement on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert Monday night. Colbert said that former Captain America is a, quote, incandescent supernova of hotness. Former Sexiest Man Alive Dwayne Johnson congratulated Evans on the coveted title. Johnson then joked around saying, quote, I'm Sexiest Man Alive in perpetuity, which means for life. In his acceptance speech, so to speak, Evans urged Americans to, quote, go vote.
All right, Ryan Reynolds, Chris Evans. It's getting hot in here.
I know,
It's getting hot in here. It's getting hot in
for
here. Chris,
real.
what is the weather?
Well, this weekend.
Maybe we have some hot weather this week.
We
I don't
have
know.
some hot weather.
Do we
this
have
weekend.
some hot
Do we, Chris,
haven't
do we
even
have
looked
some
at-
hot weather this weekend? Give us a look at that weekend weather forecast.
I know, I wonder.
I'm thinking about all the weather. Okay, moving on to the weekend. Starting with Saturday, we're going to see more rain for the weekends as we will see the leftovers from tropical storms on Friday. Temperatures drop down to 48 degrees for Saturday, which is the significant fall from Friday. Winds pick up even higher Saturday as we have constant winds at 19 miles per hour and wind gusts at as much as 30 miles per hour. Moving on to Sunday, we have our first chance to look at the snow in western New York with a mix of rain and snow in the precipitation. Especially in the afternoon and night, temperatures stick around 45 degrees, but do see a big drop off at night where temperatures fall to 34 degrees. And lastly, looking at the start of the week on Monday, we're going to see a mix of rain and snow at the end of the day. We could see up to an inch of snow on the ground and could stick around till Tuesday. Temperatures are going to be colder too as we never really get above 40 degrees all day. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Chris. And for those of you at home, if you want to see more of Chris, be sure to watch his new show this semester, What Are You Talking About? And with that, that does it for News 11 this week. Thank you so much to our behind-the-scenes crew.
And of course, thank you to everyone watching at home. We'll be back next week.